You've probably heard me talking about this self-sufficient living skills bundle that's been going on. And I have been spending the last week flipping through so many of the incredible resources within this bundle. Now, I will say there's a lot. There's over 118 different ebooks and courses and lessons sharing incredible wisdom and knowledge with you so you can live off the land and you don't have to rely on this corrupt and broken system for everything for your family. Anyways, I wanted to share some of my favorite things. One, first off, is off-grid homeopathy. This course is loaded with so much incredible knowledge, talking about homeopathy for first aid, for colds and flu, how to make your own homeopathic remedies. Like, as an herbalist who loves to teach that stuff, that's pretty exciting to hear it in the homeopathy realm. There's also some incredible fermentation guides, so many other amazing herbal recipes and food recipes, and how to make your own sourdough bread, how to do your own organic gardening and canning of all of your foods. Really, there is so much. And yes, I know. I've talked about it a ton, but this entire bundle is only $50 right now until Sunday, March 24th. I'm sharing my herbal first aid skills, which is a course that's $47 on its own. I'm sharing recipes that I used when I got my products into REI for herbal first aid kits and so much more. You'll have to check it out. I'm serious. Like, you can absolutely change your life with this bundle. So there is a link in the show notes for you, and I hope you check it out. I hope you take advantage. Don't worry, you don't have to go through everything right away. You can access everything for up to a year. Once you're in the course or have the download, it's yours for life. It is a steal of a deal. Okay, self-sufficient living skills bundle in the links for you. Hello and welcome to the Herbalist Path, a podcast where you'll discover how to make your own herbal remedies at home so that you can take better care of yourself, better care of your family, and better care of our planet. I'm Mel. I'm a clinical herbalist, environmental educator, and mountain living mama with this crazy passion for teaching more mamas and their little loves how to use plants as medicine in a safe, effective, and tasty way so that there can be an herbalist in every home. Again, it's an absolute honor to have you on the journey down the herbalist path with me so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. So there's pretty much no other mother that I know that hasn't heard their kids say, "Mommy, I have a tummy ache." Am I right? And if that's you, if you're that mother and you've never had your kids say that to you, would you please let me know all of your secrets? Because this is something that happens often for my kiddo and so many others that I know. And that's why in today's episode, I wanted to share my top 3 herbs to help soothe a tummy ache and why I'm choosing these herbs to share with you. But first, let's talk a little bit about a tummy ache. It's so common, but one thing that's for sure is that nailing down the cause or the reason for the tummy ache can be really challenging for many. I do know that it's super common that for some, stress and anxiety or other emotional triggers can cause a lot of stomach upset. And when that happens, it's good to just take a bit of time and just talk with your kiddo, or better yet, let them talk to you and tell you what's going on. I do exactly this a lot with my daughter, and just the talking process I've seen helps a lot. You can also investigate a bit deeper. Is there trouble at school? Was there maybe a recent family move? Are there friend troubles, trouble at home? Is there a new sibling around? These kinds of things can trigger a lot of emotional upset in our kids, which in turn triggers that tummy ache or upset stomach or whatever you want to call it. And while those emotional triggers are one of the biggest causes to tummy aches, they're surely not the only one. And it's basically your job as a mama to be the one to do most of the investigating, just in case you can handle it without having to go to the doctors, if you can even get an appointment these days. So anyways, what other things should you consider that could be triggering this tummy ache for your little babes? First, you got to think, is it an acute symptom, like it's not happening frequently? Or is it a more chronic situation where there's frequent or intermittent tummy aches? Because there can be some differences in there for sure. If it's acute, you might want to think about things like, when was their last bowel movement? And what was the consistency? Are they constipated, or could it be diarrhea? Because you're going to think about different herbs for those situations. Or maybe, have they been around anyone else that's feeling this tummy upset? Is there a virus or something going around among all of their friends where everybody's got this going on? Because if that's the case, you want to turn to some more of your antimicrobial or antiviral herbs to help kill off that infection. Or have they eaten any spoiled or rancid foods? It could be food poisoning, and then you'd want to address it in that way. Are they dealing again with stressful things causing anxiety? That's when you want to turn into the calming, nervine herbs to support their nervous system. Another thing that can cause stomach aches are urinary tract infections. So is there something going on there? Have they complained in another way? Because then you're going to want to turn to your diuretic herbs that are specific for the urinary tract. And then if there's other symptoms or signs of pain, you may want to consider seeing your doctor and getting a more accurate diagnosis or a deeper investigation as to what is triggering these tummy aches. It's a pretty big deal. Now, for dealing with chronic tummy upsets, something that's happening on a very frequent basis, maybe not consistent, maybe consistent, you definitely want to look into things like potential food allergies or food intolerances. Definitely going to want to touch base on the emotional stress or the anxiety. Are they constipated? Sometimes it can be caused by things like digestive inflammatory diseases. Maybe it's lead poisoning or a worm infestation or some other low-grade infection. There's really a lot of ways that can or a lot of things that can trigger this tummy ache. Again, with the stressful situations, I can't iterate this enough. They can come in a myriad of ways. So just really take that time and use that mother intuition, your nurturing, your empathetic side, and tune in to what's happening for your kiddo in their life. Are they in a new school? Is there a new teacher? Is one of their best friends moving? Are you moving? Are there arguments in your family? Are you going through a divorce or some type of separation with your partner? That can be really, really challenging for our kiddos to deal with and can definitely trigger these tummy upsets, right? Okay, so that's a lot to think about. It's a lot of investigative work, right? But that's mom life, if you ask me. So what else can you do about these tummy aches, whether you got the investigative part figured out or not? For one thing, if your kiddo is having a tummy ache, you want to avoid solid foods. So give them broths, herbal teas, things along those lines. So their stomach isn't having to do the whole process of churning and mashing up more food. It's going to give it a little bit of a break and some time to heal. Plus, you can put nice healing herbs in the broth or in the tea as well. You could do a nice tummy massage, maybe a little lavender essential oil and a nice carrier oil, and just give a gentle, loving massage. And that lavender is going to also help calm their nerves a bit. Maybe a castor oil pack, something along those lines. If it's a bacterial or viral infection causing bloating, the tummy aches, you definitely want to address that with your antimicrobial herbs. And you can also do a lot of work to restore healthy gut bugs, eating probiotic-rich foods, fermented foods, yogurts, taking probiotic supplements, and things along those lines. And yes, of course, you can turn to herbs. This wouldn't be me on a podcast talking to you if I wasn't going to talk about herbs, right? And of course, it's really hard for me to choose just one herb. And it's really hard for me to choose 3 of my favorite herbs, but I'm going to do it. And if you want to dive deeper and explore more herbs for the many various reasons that tummy upset issues our kiddos face happen, that's exactly what we're talking about inside of Apothecary Mama this whole month. So you can pop in, you can catch one of the live or the recorded calls on things specific like colic or constipation, vomiting, diarrhea. Yeah, all the glorious fun stuff I get to talk about as an herbalist. And if you decide to join us in Apothecary Mamas, you're always welcome to reach out and ask me your specific questions, and I'll answer it in one of the live Q&A calls that we do 2 times a month. I'll answer it whether you're able to show up live or not, because I totally get mom life, right? Okay, anyways, there's a lot going on inside of there for you. So let's talk about those 3 herbs that, without a doubt, every mama should have on hand for any kiddo that deals with stomach aches. So the first herb I want to talk about is lemon balm, and this is Melissa officinalis. She's one of my absolute favorite herbs for children for so many reasons. But specifically for today, we're going to talk about why I would choose this for tummy upset. So lemon balm is appropriately named. She's really rich in these super fragrant, volatile oils that smell quite lemony. They're absolutely heavenly and amazing. And those volatile oils help create this herbal action called carminative, meaning that it actually helps to ease tummy upset, gassiness, and bloating. And not only that, lemon balm, again, those oils, that lemony flavor is quite delicious. You can make a really simple herbal tea with lemon balm to ease those tummy aches, and that will go a long way on its own. I share some pretty tasty popsicle recipes inside of Apothecary Mama that are really good. And then this is one of my favorite tea blends that I share in Apothecary Mama. You ready for this? Grab a pen or pause or do whatever you need to do with this podcast. But this is my tummy tamin chill pill. Ready? Pause. You got your pen? Write it down or reach out to me and DM me and I'll send it to you also. So it's 1 part lemon balm, 1 part tulsi or holy basil, 1 part chamomile, and half a part of fennel. So if you want like a beautified copy of it or something to your inbox, definitely hit me up in Instagram or TikTok or on an email or wherever you're listening to this from. I would love to get that to you. Anyways, this blend it's delicious. Like, you're going to want to drink it all of the time, and there's no harm in doing that. And it's really bound to be your kiddo's like best herbal tea friend, which brings up another one of the reasons I love to use lemon balm in this case. It is an amazing herb for kiddos who are dealing with anxiety, and it can work wonders to help calm their nerves, which is exactly what we need to be thinking about, right? Not just which one herb will help this one problem, but I want you to start thinking about it more like, what is the problem we're dealing with? And what is the cause of that problem? Okay, now how do I find an herb or herbs that can help with all of those problems in one power-packed punch? In this case, a pretty gentle punch that's super duper effective. So when you start to get really good at thinking in this way, you start to develop this, a 6th mama sense. Well, I guess if you're a mama, it's more like a 12th sense, right? Because we kind of have eyes in the back and the side and everywhere all over the house, right? Anyways, my point being is that you start to get this intuitive knowing of exactly what herbs to reach for at the right time. And that is exactly my mission, is helping more moms to develop that incredible skill that's invaluable. That's a skill that you take with you for life. Okay, so lemon balm, right? Melissa officinalis. She's amazing, and she's an herb that you're going to stock in your medicine chest now, right? Right? Okay, good. I really, really hope so, because she's amazing. So let's chat about the next herb that's also imperative to have on hand for tummy upset. And it's marshmallow. No, not the jet puff stuff you're making s'mores with. Those are going to cause more of a tummy ache, or 2 or 3. But what I'm talking about here is the incredibly beautiful Althea officinalis. She's this gorgeous plant that's wonderful for soothing inflammation and tummy upset. She's what we herb geeks call demulcent herb, which literally means that it cools and coats mucosal tissue with its slippery, slimy constituents, or its mucilaginous polysaccharides that provide all of the good medicine. So if the tummy ache is painful, marshmallow can be an incredible ally. In fact, it's really commonly used among herbalists and other holistic practitioners to help relieve digestive upset and all kinds of inflammatory conditions of the digestive tract, like Crohn's disease and IBS, colitis, and really so much more. It can also be super helpful if your kiddo is dealing with diarrhea. Yeah, there I go, talking about poop again. Good times as an herbalist. Don't get jealous, because you can totally do this too. Anyways, there's just so much that Althea officinalis can do. It's an incredibly amazing plant that I just love. And I love that every time I think of it, I think of my niece, whose name is Althea. So it just brings me all this extra happiness and smile filled with love. Anyways, before I run off to the land of mushiness and sentimentality, let's dig into the next must-have herb when it comes to dealing with tummy aches for your kiddos. And this herb is none other than the almighty, yet gentle, yet so powerful and incredibly medicinal herb, chamomile. And I chose chamomile for quite a few reasons. Number 1, it is so much more than just a sleepy time herb that everybody thinks it is. It's actually quite specific for gut health. On the one hand, it's rich in bitters properties, so it will increase the flow of bile and other digestive secretions, ultimately improving the entire digestive process, and it helps the body to break down fats and such. So that's a huge win right there to begin with, right? Chamomile's also got some great anti-inflammatory properties that are specific for the gut and other mucosal membranes, honestly. And it's really, really helpful throughout the digestive tract. It can help when your kiddos have diarrhea. It has some astringent properties that will step in and help kind of tighten up all of that loose stool and use loose mucus. It's also an excellent carminative herb, meaning, again, that it's specific for easing gassiness and bloating, tummy upset in general. So, hey, more chamomile. And back to that whole thing about chamomile just being known as the sleepy time herb. Well, yes, it is great for such things. And that's because it's what's called a nervine herb. It's a sedating nervine, meaning that it works wonders to calm and soothe the nerves, which is pretty epic because remember way back when in the beginning of this episode, I talked about how more often than not, tummy aches come right from the deep emotional swells of our child's being. And here you have chamomile bumbling along to ease the aches and soothe the soul, or the nerves in this case. Totally winning, right? Okay, so there you have it. The 3 most important herbs for any mama whose kiddo gets a tummy ache from time to time. We've got lemon balm, or Melissa officinalis, marshmallow, or Althea officinalis, and chamomile. Matricaria recutita is the one I love to use most often as medicine. There's a few others that you can use as well. So I do hope you found this episode to be very, very helpful. And if you did, please, oh please, share it with your friends. And if you're ready to dive deeper into your herbal skill set and enrich your tool belt and knowledge so that you can feel really confident when it comes to choosing the right herbs at the right time, I want to invite you and encourage you to join us inside of Apothecary Mama. This is my online herbal mentorship just for moms and grands. There are bunches of pre-recorded lessons for you. Plus, we do bi-weekly live Q&A calls where you'll get your specific questions answered and you'll get safe, effective answers too. And we do bi-weekly deep dive live herb classes. There's really just so much amazingness inside of this community, and I'd love for you to join us. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description, and you can get signed up before our next live guest teacher comes on board. So we, this month of January, are having Dr. Morgan McDermott, a pediatric naturopath, come in and speak about pediatric nutrition. We have dental herbalism coming up. We have backyard botany. We have the postpartum years and a big long discussion on that, herbal first aid, all kinds of amazing guest teachers coming on to just enrich and support the growth of all of the Apothecary Mamas. Because quite frankly, there's only so much listening to me that you can do. And one of my greatest blessings in my journey down the herbalist path is that I have been able to learn from so many of the absolute best herbalists on our continent. And each one had different pearls and treats and wisdom to share with me. And I can take all of that and compile it. And that's what I share with you guys, right? That's what I love to do. And now it's also time to gather all of these other amazing herbalists so that all my mamas can also get these incredible tips and pearls and build that skill set, that forever toolbox that is going to be filled with information that you're going to use for the rest of your life. Anyways, it's a beautiful honor. It's such a beautiful honor, just like the beautiful honor of you tuning in this long to this podcast. So I really do appreciate you. And if this episode was helpful, again, please do share it and reach out to me. Let me know you're listening, because right now I'm just talking into a computer at you and hoping that you're hearing the messages I'm sending to you. So when I hear from you that you listen, it really does put a smile on my face and it makes me feel like this is all worth it. And if you have the time, you want to leave me some stars on the old rating scale, I'd really appreciate a lovely 5-star review. And that's it for today. Thanks again. I wish you the most incredibly beautiful day. And don't forget to go out there and do your part in making herbalism spread like wildflowers. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Herbalist Path. Being on this journey with you is absolutely incredible. If you dig this episode, please leave me a review on your favorite podcast player and share it with your friends so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. On another note, I must mention that while I know you're getting some good info here, it's important to remember that this podcast is purely for entertainment and educational purposes and is not intended to be a substitute for medical treatment. While the information in this podcast is absolutely relevant, herbs work differently for each person and each condition. That's why I recommend you work with a qualified practitioner, whether that be another herbalist, a naturopath, or your doctor. So thank you again. I am truly honored that you're tuning into these episodes and on the path with me to make sure that there's an herbalist in every home again. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends so that we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. It has been so much fun and so, joyous watching all of my medicinal plant friends popping up in my garden, from the elecampane to the comfrey and the arnica. I love seeing these friends pop up. And if you are still trying to decide what to grow in your medicinal herb garden, you've got to grab my guide. It's all about the most essential herbs that every mom should know and should grow. So I teach you how to grow them and the many different ways that you can use them. If you want to grab the guide, go ahead. It's free, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of delight and use out of it. And there's a link to it in the show notes. I'm wishing you tons of happy medicine planting.